Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. In recent years, the month of June has been celebrated for some as Pride Month, when, as CNN puts it, the world's LGBTQ communities come together and celebrate the freedom to be themselves. Last year, Pride Month was so heavily pushed by corporations that this year there are memes such as this to prepare oneself for the onslaught of corporations promoting the LGBTQ agenda. And since this agenda has become so adopted, promoted, and widespread, now we see even Muslims explicitly being targeted and used to push this agenda. For example, this was featured on YouTube saying, "Celebrate Pride Month. Discover YouTube creators sharing their voice and creativity with the world." And what do we see on this ad? A hijabi. We clearly see Muslims being strategically used as part of these marketing campaigns. Just last month, this picture went viral exposing the fact that in Canada, there's a poster in schools promoting the LGBT agenda with hijabis. Now, the main point of this video is to ask ourselves, how did we reach this point? Why is this happening? Don't people understand that the LGBT movement is against the teachings of Islam? I get it, I understand. This is America. People have the legal right to promote the LGBT agenda if that's what they want to do. But I also understand that people are given the legal right to be a Muslim. I don't see pork companies targeting Muslims in their advertisements, just like I don't see beef companies targeting Hindus. That would be seen as inappropriate and disrespectful. So why then is the issue of LGBT so different? Well, I believe that one of the clear reasons is due to our own behavior as Muslims by and large in general. This doesn't apply to everyone in our community, but by and large, the Muslim community in the West, we have representatives. People who are portrayed as Muslim leaders, who are looked at as if they speak for the Muslims, who specifically, unambiguously promote the LGBTQ agenda. And there are many examples of this, but here's one. Ilhan Omar just tweeted a few days ago, "Happy Pride Month. We won't stop fighting until all LGBTQ plus Americans can live free from discrimination." So why should anybody from the outside looking in think that Muslims have an issue with the LGBTQ agenda? It'd be one thing if Muslim leaders by and large condemned Ilhan Omar for this sort of behavior. If they openly and unapologetically denounced her for her clear propagation of LGBT for years at the expense of Islam. However, we see the exact opposite. Just recently, this event was advertised as the largest Muslim convention, ICNACON 2022, the 47th annual ICNA Mass Convention. We see as part of the marketing campaign it says, "Building a just society, the mission continues." This was in my home state of Maryland at the Baltimore Convention Center, May 28th to May 30th, 2022. And who was headlining the welcome session? None other than Ilhan Omar. It was estimated that tens of thousands of Muslims attended this convention. They had some of the most popular Muslim speakers the West has to offer. People like Dr. Omar Suleiman, Yasser Qadi. Even Mohammed Hijab visited all the way from the UK. Just think about how many Muslims attended this event, watched Ilhan Omar speak. How many young Muslim sisters saw her being praised, went home and followed her on Twitter, so that just a few days later they could see her tweet, "Happy Pride Month. We won't stop fighting until all LGBTQ plus Americans can live free from discrimination." So why wouldn't we expect not only non-Muslims to think, hey, the Muslim community, they have no issue with LGBT, even though the reality is it's clearly against our religion. But even Muslims are going to think that it's not against their religion. I spoke to a young brother who just recently graduated from college. He told me he was struggling to find a Muslim sister on campus who didn't have an LGBT rainbow flag pinned to her hijab. Brothers and sisters, if we live in a society where everyone is eating pork and drinking alcohol, then our children are going to eat pork and drink alcohol unless we specifically and explicitly and unambiguously tell them not to. We explain to them this is against our religion. We don't eat pork. We don't drink alcohol. We have no problem telling our children this. We have no problem telling society this. In fact, if Ilhan Omar was all over social media, eating ham sandwiches and taking shots of whiskey, I don't think she'd be invited to speak at such events. I don't think such respected Muslim clerics would want to speak along with her at an event. I don't think they would hesitate as much to condemn her behavior. If we saw a huge increase in Muslim youth drinking alcohol and eating ham sandwiches and acting as if it's halal in our religion, it wouldn't be that difficult to tell where they got this idea from. Why don't we have that same energy when it comes to the LGBT agenda being spread amongst our community? My point is, brothers and sisters, we have the right to practice our religion in this country. No one is forcing us to eat pork. No one's forcing us to drink alcohol. And no one is forcing us to openly promote and advocate for the LGBT community. If people want to eat pork in this society, we as Muslims can separate ourselves from that. If people want to drink alcohol in this society, we as Muslims can separate ourselves from that. Likewise, if people want to promote or indulge in the LGBT lifestyle, the Muslim community, we have the freedom, we have the right to separate ourselves from that. And unless we separate ourselves from it, we're going to see more hijabis on these posters. We're going to see more hijabis on campus wearing LGBT flags. We're going to see more Muslim boys identifying as girls. And on the day of judgment, we are going to be held accountable. At the end of the day, life is short. Allah created us to worship Him alone, and we're going to be asked about what we did. What are we going to say? If you look at America, not everyone agrees about everything. You can be a Muslim. You can believe that Islam is the truth. It's okay. You're never going to agree with everyone about everything. So I encourage all of us to focus on trying to please Allah and not trying to please the people. We should be the best of people in terms of our contributions to society. And we should benefit the people first and foremost by speaking the truth about Islam, speaking the truth about the revelation that Allah sent us. Allah knows best. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.